Hey there guys, it's Ice9 and we've got another promo out for Madden Mobile, a brand new one. We haven't had it either of the other 2 years. We've got the playoffs promo and we've got a new live event to go along with it to promote it. Gives us DeAndre Levy on our team. So let's go ahead and play this. A lot of you already have played it, so this will be anticlimactic. And we get a sack even though we didn't manage to switch to the player. Sometimes the screen gets a little bit unresponsive there. And Levy doesn't make the sack, but he gets help. So pretty good amount of coins that we get. Even the second playthrough, the first playthrough was 800 something coins. Good amount of experience for those who need that. And let's see what we get. So we get a playoffs reward pack. What is it? What is it going to be? It is a silver trophy. It's amazing. That is so dumb. Okay, so, they give you, as they say in their playoffs reward pack, and you earn a trophy for use to completing sets. But unfortunately, the playoff sets don't require any trophies, so it's completely useless. They have had showdown events going on for the day, guys. Too late to really give you a heads up on that, but hopefully, if you're still trying to go for Kukli, that you've done these. But let's get into these players. We're going to start out with our first player here. 95 overalls, all of them, and they require 90 plus overall players, as we could see, 5 of them in the set, some of which are pretty high overalls. This Nate Sauter card, 92 overall, which is actually higher than either of my offensive tackles. So they could be pretty interesting players to play on a team in their own right. Might be good value players to put on a team, but more importantly, they go into the set to get the 95 overall player. And what we see, there is a boost. It is possibly the least creative, laziest boost that EA has ever come up with. +1 overall to New England players. What does that mean? I have no idea. And does it boost speed, strength, awareness? Does it boost the injury stat, which doesn't even matter in Madden Mobile? Who knows? But basically what that means is you have to throw that out the window unless you're playing a theme team or something, and just look at the stats of the individual player and also figure out, if it's a player you really like, if you're a big LeGarrette Blount fan, then you'll pick up the player. So we've had a pretty high overall Blount card that came out as part of the Headliners event. So when we compare this player to that, he's a little faster, I think a little bit stronger. Carry is extremely high at 96. A very strong halfback with very good carries, so he should be pretty reliable. One stat that is much lower than the Headliner card, though, is the catch stat. So not all important for a halfback, but that's definitely lower than Adrian Peterson. And really, when you look at this card in comparison to the other 95 plus halfbacks in the game now, Ricky Williams, the Zeke card that I'm running, Adrian Peterson, it's definitely, I would say, the weakest of the cards because of the slower speed and the lower catch, even though the carry number is very good. So kind of disappointing there, and a lot of these cards are like that. Let's go into this, and we're going to look at these guys in the auction house. So we're going to look up the 95 overalls, and they have a new search for this, and let's go through it. So there's the Blount card, and this is going to compare it to Gurley, so it's going to look good with a lot of green. Here's the Zach Martin card, and pretty good guard. A little bit lower acceleration, but the pass and the run blocks are both 93, which is very good. The impact block is a little low, at 89, but not terrible, but pretty fast, fairly strong acceleration in the 80s. Not real fast at 73, but definitely a solid card. Still not exciting enough, and what I would say is it's not enough of an upgrade to take it over the MVPs, I would say. I might try some of these cards, but a lot of them just aren't good enough, I would say, to really warrant it. Another one is the Levy card, and Levy cards are usually pretty good. All 3 years, they've been good coverage linebackers. In this particular case, so for Von Miller, yes, he does cover better, but the speed's less, not as strong, acceleration's not as good, no boost. Had Von Miller for 3 months, so not really good enough to take over that coverage linebacker position over there on the strong side, where I put Sean Taylor, frozen Sean Taylor right now, who's faster, stronger, and is a little bit better coverage. This card probably has better PLR, but a lot of the other stats just aren't that great. Jarvis Landry, that one's sold. We'll have to find another one. Mike Daniels here. So this card, and you can kind of see, yes, I do have another one of the playoffs players on there. So in comparison, there's a fair amount of green, but a lot of these things will boost. And here we have a power defensive end, probably best used in a 3-4, not real fast, but very strong. You know, that's one of the easiest things to boost. The acceleration's not great, but it'll boost up to the 90s with all the acceleration boosters that are out there. Power moves are not phenomenal. Okay, so not in the 90s as far as that goes. Probably high block shed, but just not, again, not a real good card. Here's one of the better cards, one of the two of the most interesting cards in the promo, the Mike Mitchell safety card here. And we compare him to Barry, and there's all kinds of green except for man coverage. Doesn't make that much of a difference on the safety, but I believe the Barry card has 80 man coverage. But faster, although Barry's situational boost seems to be on all the time, and Barry plays pretty well. A little bit stronger, agile. Everything's a little bit higher. A little bit better of a free safety, I would say here, but coverages are the same or worse as Barry, and the play recognition is also identical. So again, it's not that much of a difference. Barry boosts up on my team to 99. This guy will boost up to 99 with a few less boosters on the team, which makes him something to look at. Not real expensive for a 95 overall player in the low 1 million range. And on to the Rodney Hudson card, and as opposed to his MVP version, you would expect it all to be better. It is. Pass block, run block. Run block, though, is still under 90, and the impact block is 96, which is really high, but that's precisely what the MVP card boosts. So it's kind of, in my opinion, it's not a card that, has me, wanting to spend a bunch of coins over. Jarvis Landry, very crowded position, and we can see in comparison to Herman Moore, who also has a double boost, that this card just doesn't have stats in really the right places. I'm sure the card plays well, but 91 speed's not overwhelming. All the rest of the stats boost up, but 91 speed, 90 jump, just nothing overwhelming about the card. This card is very good. So I might have to work on how I'm setting up my defense, because right now I've got this guy and Fowler, 2 finesse defensive ends, and I might want at least 1 power guy in there. Just from the standpoint of having a little balance and to stop the run a little bit better. But here, as far as a pure pass rusher, this guy's awesome. 90 speed, jumps off the page, over 90 acceleration that boosts up to 99 on my team. Awareness is high enough to boost up to the upper 90s. The tackle, which is a little bit low, there's plenty of tackle boosters out there. Hit power is pretty high at 92, and his finesse moves are 93. So as a speed rusher, that is a very good card. And on, so some Beasley cards. And we got two corners. Here's one of them. And in comparison to Night Train Lane, he's a little faster, acceleration's better, so quicker, more agile, play recognition is one higher, but the man and zone coverage are still a tad low in the high 80s, low 90s. Tackle's also a little bit low, so with a speed booster, with Game Changer Gurley in my team right now, bringing it to 93 speed, what I would say about this card is if it had 94 and 95 speed, it'd probably be more interesting. If the coverages were a little bit higher, it would be a little bit more interesting. That said, I'm sure this card plays pretty well. And let's go on. Eli Manning card here. So slower and weaker than Favre. Throw power is not as good, but for the short to middle passing game, the accuracy is a little bit better. It'll be a good card for some people to look at, I'm sure, but no boost, lower overall. Our other corner card here, and again, quite a bit of green over lane, but not faster, not stronger. Tackle is weaker. Play recognition, man, and zone are all pretty solid, but no 93, 94, 95 speed on it, so not an overwhelming card once again. So that is basically it. And then if we look at some of the better cards as part of the promo outright here. So 92-0 tackle. Run in pass block in the 90s, but pretty slow. Barry Church card here. I actually pulled this card and made a bunch of coins off of them out of my 2 playoff packs this morning. I just went ahead and sold the players that I got and made coins off of them, knowing that they would come down later. In this case, it certainly has. I sold my Church card for 800,000 coins, I believe. But again, it's a pretty good card with a fair amount of green over Barry. Not good enough to upgrade Barry with, but pretty good. Clever Gwen, just a little slow. Coverages just aren't quite good enough, but a pretty solid card. Ryan Schrader, so all kinds of red over Staley. No boost. No thank you. Justin Pugh, which I've got as 91 overall. Fair amount of green, which you would expect. No boost. Just not good enough to replace another player with. Alex Smith card, kind of a good value card, not bad stats. So, I mean, this is basically, we have James Harrison, which there's all kinds of red over Von Miller, which you would expect. Another center, not bad stats. You know, so some of these will be good values for some people to put on teams, but they're still expensive because they're part of these sets to get 95 players. So that is basically, that's the whole promo. Not very interesting in my opinion, but there's a couple players to add on to. The thing that really sucks about it is the only way you could get these players is from packs, so it's a big cash grab. No other way to get them, unfortunately. So, you know, that's a little bit of a letdown, but it's a new promo. Won't complain that much about it. Let's check out our 2 legends for the week. And then we are done. And we've got another Suggs card, and every time, oh no, another Suggs card. So this is going to be another slow linebacker that can't cover, and we've already got Von Miller on our team, which is our pass rusher. Stats on this, he can actually cover pretty well. I was surprised by this, and he is faster than previous versions of Suggs. That said, still enough red over Von Miller, who is 99 overall with a boost that I already have, to make him Not interesting, but for people who aren't going to get Von Miller, which a lot of people can, even people who don't use stamina refills can get them by this time. It's just not that interesting of the card. And then our other playoff legend for the week is a Frank Gore card. And this card, halfback's getting kind of crowded. This is a very solid card, 91 speed. Frank Gore card should be a little bit stronger, in my opinion, but the catch is decent in the 80s. Everything is decent on the card, so it's a solid halfback. And for Frank Gore fans, they'll be happy to play this card, I'm sure. But that's basically been it. And with Legends, the thing continues. It's the players become increasingly irrelevant even when they're launched, so it needs a revamp, and hopefully Ultimate Legends come out soon, or whatever they call it this year. I'm sure they're going to have something else that replaces Legends, or maybe they'll just vamp up the program. We'll kind of see what happens. But that's it, guys. That is my video for the day. As more events come out, I will definitely cover them. Thanks for watching.